If you're thinking about living in San Diego, I want to share 5 of my favorite things to do while living in San Diego. My name is Kyle Whistle with Whistle Realty Group, your guide to living in San Diego. I'm one of those rare native, born and raised San Diegans, have lived here for 40 plus years of my life. I've lived all over the county, had all kinds of crazy and amazing experiences living in San Diego. And I want to share a lot of those experiences with you so that as you're exploring moving to San Diego or moving around and wanting ultimately to live in San Diego, I want to share those experiences with you so you can decide if it's going to be the right move for you or not. Today, what I want to do is talk about 5 of my favorite things to do while living here. Number 1 on the list, and this ties into the amazing weather that we have here in San Diego, and it's going hiking. San Diego has some of the best hiking I've ever seen. This place, and we have 70 plus miles of coastline here in San Diego. So whether you want to go hiking along the coast and have these amazing ocean views, or you want to go hiking up in the mountains, you can even go hike in some snow if that's your jam. Really got something for everybody here. So I want to share a few of my favorite hikes with you. One that is just kind of a must-do here in San Diego is hiking Torrey Pines. This is probably the most scenic hike in all of San Diego. You start out at the beach, you go up by Torrey Pines Golf Course. They play the Farmers Open there. They've had the U.S. Open hosted there, one of the best U.S. Opens ever, where Tiger Woods and Rocco Mediate went head-to-head, playoff, all that. A killer golf course. Also, fun thing to golf in San Diego, side note. That one didn't make the list, but if you're going to golf in San Diego, Torrey Pines is a really cool course. But you get to go hike all the way up to the top of Torrey Pines. You can see the glider port, which is really cool. So people hang glide or paraglide off the side of a cliff. So you go all the way to the top, and then it drops you back down to the ocean. You get to take some killer photos. It's just so pretty, and it's not too difficult of a hike either. This one would be kind of an easy to moderate type hike. So really good whether you're just starting out with hiking or you're very experienced. It's going to be a hike that really everybody can take part in. Another really cool coastal one is hiking around Cabrillo Monument. So Cabrillo Monument, there's a lighthouse. It's in Point Loma, and it is just another insanely scenic hike. You've got on one side, you've got the ocean, and then on the other side, you've got San Diego Bay and the whole downtown skyline. Super gorgeous hike. Another one that's kind of like on the easy to moderate scale. So Cabrillo Monument, Torrey Pines, got to do both of those hikes. Couple hikes on the inland side if you want to get into some of the mountain hikes. One of the most popular hikes in San Diego is called Potato Chip Rock, and that is on Mount Woodson. And the cool thing with this hike is there's 2 ways to get to it. So you could come from Lake Poway, and coming from Lake Poway, it's much more difficult hike. I would put this in one of the top 5 for difficulty in San Diego. It's about 7-ish miles round trip. And it's a bit strenuous as well. So if you're brand new or you're not in the best shape, probably don't want to come in from the Poway side of it. But there is another option coming in from the Ramona side on this one, and it's about 4 miles round trip. So a little over half the distance coming from Poway, but this is a much flatter, smoother, easier hike. And then the cool thing when you get to Potato Chip Rock, I'd say just Google it. You can see some of the pictures, but this is really cool rock that kind of looks like a potato chip hanging off the side of a cliff. You can get some killer photos. It's one of those like Insta-worthy locations, so it's all worth it to get to the top and take the photo, right? Like, I'm pretty sure people do this hike just to get the photo at the top. Then if you want another one that's really scenic and probably one of the hardest hikes in all of San Diego, it's called Three Sisters. This is in the Descanso area out by Julian. And the name Three Sisters comes from the fact that there's 3 waterfalls at this hike. So if you go the right time of year after there's been some rain or some snow, because it does snow in Julian, you go and the water's running, there's 3 waterfalls. The 3rd waterfall is actually one that you could use as like a water slide. So super pretty. But this one's tough. There's parts of this where there's actually ropes that you have to kind of like use to get down the side of the mountain or to scale some of these rocks. This is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie, there's people that don't make it through this hike. Now they are stupid and they go and do the hike in the middle of summer when it's 100 plus degrees and they don't bring enough water. That might not turn out so well for you. So this is not like a midsummer hike. This is one that you want to do in the fall or the winter, maybe the spring, when there's some water flowing. Don't do this in the summer. Don't be stupid. And this is not one you bring dogs on. This is not one you bring your little kids on. Like this one, you got to be in good shape. But it is worth it. So those are a few of my favorite hikes. Let's talk about some of the fun things to do with groups. So whether it's with your friends, with your family, we have so many cool amusement parks here in San Diego. We've got Legoland, right? Legoland is killer, obviously themed after Legos. There's rides, there's all kinds of activities. There's a hotel. We got SeaWorld. You can go see the killer whales and the dolphins. They've been adding tons of rides there. There were some regulations that got passed a few years ago that removed some of the height restrictions, and SeaWorld has taken advantage of that and been building one ride after another. So it's kind of fun to go there because you're getting to learn a little bit. Plus, you're getting to do some rides at the same time. So it's becoming one of the really fun parks in San Diego. They do have alcohol there for the parents that like to drink. You can enjoy a frosty beverage there. And this one's really close to the coast too, so it stays nice and cool pretty much year round. And then a couple of the other fun ones, we've got the San Diego Zoo and we've got the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Both if you really want to get out there, see some cool animals, learn a little bit. Both of those are fun. The San Diego Zoo is real close to downtown, so if you're staying down there, you can go check the San Diego Zoo out. Or my favorite is the Safari Park, which is inland. Lot more space. You get to go on like a tram ride. It's kind of like a safari. It's super cool. The animals have a lot more room there. You can do a roar and snore where you stay overnight and get to stay like out with all the animals and hear all the fun sounds and everything. They do a big bonfire and tell stories. So both of those are super fun. And then you're just a short drive living in San Diego. You could go up the coast and you could go to Disneyland. You could go to Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios. You got all of those. Then there's some water parks too. So we actually have a water park there reopening in 2022. It's going to be called Sesame Place. So it's a Sesame Street themed water park. Now, when you hear Sesame Street, you probably think it's just for kids. There's plenty of adult slides there. It's actually a really cool park. So just all kinds of cool group activities to go do with friends and with family. And, quick little thing, if you're watching this video, you're enjoying the information, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, let YouTube know. Also, you can hit the subscribe button and little bell to get notified whenever we release a future episode of the show. And if there's a favorite place or favorite thing you have to do in San Diego, throw it in the comments. We'd love to learn more about what you're into. And if you're exploring moving to San Diego or buying a home here in San Diego, we'd love the opportunity to be your guide to living in San Diego. Give us a call, shoot us a text at the number down below to get connected with my team. Let's keep it moving. Number 3 on the list, San Diego's got a really, really strong brewery scene and a wine scene too. So I'll hit on both of those. Something that's real popular to do here when you're living in San Diego is to go on a brewery tour. There's over 100 breweries in San Diego, tons of small mom and pop breweries, and we got a ton of really big breweries too. So we've got big breweries like Karl Strauss and Mother Earth and Stone being the biggest of them. We got a lot of fun small breweries as well. One of my favorites, BNS, has some amazing beer, great vibe. And there's just really great breweries all over the place. Modern Times has become super popular. So strong brewery scene. There's bus tours where you can hop on a bus and go around to different breweries with your friends. It's a great time. Or maybe beer's not your thing and wine is your thing. So within San Diego County, you've got Ramona, which is up and coming, still somewhat of a hidden gem, but there are over 100 vineyards in Ramona, and there's dozens of wineries that you can go to. And what's cool with Ramona being up and coming is that these places aren't huge yet with big hotels and they're not super fancy. A lot of times the people serving you your tastings are the owners of the vineyard or the winery. So you get that cool, intimate kind of vibe in Ramona. But if you want the big wine scene, the best place to get wine in all of Southern California is Temecula, which is just, depending on where you're at in San Diego, 45-minute drive from most of San Diego to get up to Temecula. And Temecula is just wine country in Southern California. There's tons and tons and tons of wineries up there. And now we're talking big, fancy wineries, places like South Coast and all kinds of Europa, all these great wineries up there. And these have hotels and wedding venues and all the whole nine. So You can also take a bus and go do a little wine tasting, which is something that's very popular to do when you're living in San Diego. Number 4, beaches. We got 70 plus miles of coastline here in San Diego. You got to go hang out at the beach. That's a must, right? So we got a lot of different types of beaches in San Diego, depending on what you're looking for. So if you're looking for something that's very safe, bring the whole family and friends, everything out to. The more popular beaches in San Diego are going to be things like La Jolla Shores, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach. The reason those beaches are more popular is you don't have huge waves. You don't have reefs and sandbars and all the things you have to worry about if you're kind of a novice. So those tend to be the most popular beaches. Also, most crowded, most tourist. So if you're looking for like a nice, safe beach to go to, those are probably going to be your jam. But you don't really get the best surf there. Now, La Jolla Shores, you can go and rent like paddle boards and kayaks and go into like La Jolla Cove, and it's really pretty. And sometimes of the year, there's sharks that come and swim right up against the shore. Don't worry, they don't bite. They're not Jaws. But they're these sharks, and they're leopard sharks that swim around. And it's really cool. You're paddling in a kayak and there's sharks swimming all around you. It's super cool experience. So check that out at La Jolla Shores. Now, if you're looking for good surf, there's some killer breaks here in San Diego. Surfing's a big deal. A lot of the best surfers in the world have come out of San Diego. So some of the hot spots, you got Wind and Sea, which is part of La Jolla. You got Swami's up in Encinitas. Ralph's, which is a break off of Point Loma. That one you actually have to take a boat or a jet ski to even get to. You can't get there from the shoreline. So tons of killer breaks. So if you're looking for some really good surf, we've got you covered. Or if you just want something that's a little bit safer, more mellow kind of beach to go with your friends and your family, we got that covered too. And then last on the list, I would put our downtown in San Diego up against virtually any other downtown out there. Our downtown is killer. There's so many amazing things to do. So whether you want to go catch a Padres game at Petco Park, you want to hop on the ferry in downtown that takes you across the bay over to Coronado and grab a dinner over there and take the ferry back is super cool. We've got all kinds of bars and restaurants. We've got the speakeasies, which is super cool. So there's a few of these little hidden speakeasies. One of my favorites is Noble Experiment. These speakeasies, most of them you got to have some reservations. So make sure to get a reservation beforehand. One of my favorite hidden gems, this one's not a speakeasy, but really cool vibe, unique foods and killer drinks called the Lion's Share, which is pretty close to the convention center. Definitely add that one to your list. We've got things like the Star of India and the Midway Museum, which are the USS Midway, which has become a museum. So it's a giant aircraft carrier that's now a museum. You could rent a bike or a Segway and go cruising around, or hop on one of the scooters, which is probably the best form of public transportation we have, because buses and all the other stuff here probably aren't for everybody. So hop on one of the scooters and just go cruise around downtown. But there's something for everybody. And a mile up the road, you could go to Balboa Park, which there's museums and all kinds of other fun activities to do there. So those are 5 of my favorite things to do while living here in San Diego. And if that's the kind of lifestyle that you want, we'd love to be your guide to help you make that move to San Diego so that you can live here. You can do all of these fun things. And if you want to explore that further, give us a call, shoot us a text at the number down below. That'll connect you with my team. We can learn a little bit more about you, your goals, and put a plan in place to help get you here to San Diego. And if you enjoyed the video today, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Let YouTube know that you enjoyed it. And if you want to get notified when we release future episodes of the show, just hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell. YouTube will take care of the rest. And if you got some favorite things to do when you're living in San Diego, throw them in the comments. Love to find out what you like to do here in San Diego. With that said, my name is Kyle Whistle with Whistle Realty Group, your guide to living in San Diego. Thanks for tuning in.